Yeah, I'm curious. Do you remember, either of you, some of the biggest whoopses?
Oh, the one that comes to mind, which ended up not being a big deal, fortunately, was on building the Conrad's house.
Yep,
And I put a foundation wall on the wrong side of the line.
I remember that.
So, so I mean, it's the one spot you can get away with it. I was so fortunate. Oftentimes a spot where you can make a mistake is, say you've got a regular, just a basic structure, and in that structure, there's a garage that's a part of it. And the inside two walls of the garage, which you're doing a foundation for, depending on the plans and how it's drawn, you can have outside to outside measurements. You can have center to center measurements. You can have outside to center measurements. There's all different ways that can be drawn, which I would always recommend trying to work with the same designer and having the amount of discussions I've had with designers when they're drawing up plans to be like, I want your plans drawn this way.
Yep.
I don't want to have to add up 8 window center measurements to get this wall placement. Give me that and then measure back. So whether it was a plan issue or just an oversight on my part, which probably it was, at footing stage, you're doing your center to center measurements and I went the wrong way on a footing. And then it's an even foot measurement and you go to do your walls. Like clearly the wall goes here. Don't bother checking the plans. And we got to, I think, floor joist time and we put our floor joists on and my floor joists were all hanging 8 inches extra over one side. That's a lot of waste. And I-joists usually are cut long.
Yeah.
And was it that way? Is the other way? Can't remember when we caught it, but I caught it in time to adjust material. And the only thing that ended up happening is the garage ended up being 8 inches shallower in its depth. And it didn't end up having any implications. Truss bearing was fine. It wasn't a load bearing wall up at that point. And so I was fortunate to get away with that one. Let the homeowners know.
Yep.
And it being a non-issue at all. The laundry room was a little bit bigger or something. But yeah, doing a foundation wall in the wrong location, that sucked. There's been the odd time you're doing footings for deck and you put a column in the wrong space, in the wrong spot or that. But I fortunately don't have any like tremendously bad moments. We had a few blowouts in concrete, like a lot of the building around here, because it's such hilly terrain. Sometimes you're building, we had footings where I think we had 26 steps in our footing. The elevation from the top portion of the footings to the bottom, in a small footprint, you might have 20 vertical feet of it stepping down to the bottom. And there's like 4-foot steps. And then you're on the side slope and you got like your footing is 3.5, 4 feet deep on one side and 8 inches deep. But there's like, that's such a side slope when you're pinned into bedrock and you're trying to brace the crap of that low side. And
didn't you call that one? Wasn't it just up the road here? You had a name for it. Was it the asshole?
Yep.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That was a miserable one. But there's other ones, where you're like, you're pouring your footings and we called them cattle chutes because they were just at times so deep to get your levels where you wanted them. And you're pouring the concrete and you're placing it all. And I always like to vibrate. I would a pencil vibrator and we'd vibrate them. So like the footings all looked really nice. Got them full and like something's vibrating along. And all of a sudden you watch the concrete just like, oh no, where's it coming out? And you look and something's blowing out of the bottom and there's concrete flowing down the hillside.
It's always that fine line because I remember like people being like, yep, vibrate, but don't stay down there too long. Right. Like just get it, and then come out. Otherwise you're going to have issues.